So, welcome. It's suggested that vibrant aliveness is all there is. Everything. Unconditional vibrant aliveness, perhaps, could be said. Because everything is totally energy. It's all energy, seemingly. It's just simply boundless, vibrant, alive, energetic, raw isness. And this, of course, is all that is in the sense of beyond polarity. So preferences, likes, dislikes, all emotions, sensations, thoughts, even ideas and memories, of course, even opinions and beliefs and views and values is all what seems to be appearing, but only those things seem to appear for me or to me. And there's no direction. There's no direction. There's actually nowhere to be going or coming from. And there's no destination. There's nowhere to reach. There's no way in which what's being shared could become more obvious or less obvious. Because that which may be trying to get some piece of information or acknowledgement of a separate existence is denied any any substance whatsoever. There's no real separate self. And what can happen when that's seemingly said is, well, who's saying there's no separate self? And the answer quite obviously is no one's saying it, and no one's hearing it either already. But aren't you just parroting? Aren't you just saying the same things that other people are saying? No. No one's saying it. It's simply speaking itself. Yes, the conditioning of the body has apparently heard this said in similar ways before, but it's just what is happening. It's spouting and rambling on and coming out of a total absence of someone saying or doing anything. And anyone that is hearing it is also not hearing it objectively, really. There's just simply the immediate response and apparently hearing, and whatever else is happening is just simply immediately happening as it is, without any agenda, meaning whatsoever, without any purpose, without any intention, without even any significance. It's not important. It's not important. It may seem very important to me, but it's not important at all, actually. It's wonderfully meaningless. And yes, the exposure that there is no one to achieve anything, that there is no one to do anything, and there's no one to go anywhere. And this exposure can just seem to assist an unraveling for the apparent physical body. The body can just seem to it can seem to have despair and terror when it's revealed that no one's in it and that no one was ever in it, that no one was ever even calling the shots whatsoever. But it can also seem to relieve. So there's no rules and there's no knowing, there's no predictability, there's no knowing what's going to happen. It's sort of exciting in a way because there's no knowing what's going to happen. But yes, what can seem to happen for the body is a relaxation and a relief when it's exposed that no one's in it. And that can seem to become more obvious, not as a lived experience, but just as a natural reality that already there was never anyone to fall away, and that there was never a better or worse, like there was never a better person or a worse person. There was never the nonsensical hierarchy of a no one and a someone, or a more wise person or a less wise person. All of the stories are nonsensical, illusory appearances that are seemingly appearing out of nothing and are nothing. And so this nothing is unconditional, and it's all there is. You can unmute as well, by the way. I didn't say that, but if you want to just unmute to say something, that's fine.
Doubt. When there's doubt, um, it seems like there's like the me doubting. Like doubting seems to create distance. Is doubting something that happens still for you apparently, or is
But
doubting?
no, doubt doesn't seem to happen. There's no distance. I mean, if there was a practical example, maybe doubt would fit in there somewhere, but there doesn't seem to be a great deal of doubt because there doesn't seem to be any belief or sort of relating. Yeah, no distance. Yeah,
There might be doubt with like someone giving directions, and you
yeah,
already know that
yeah,
they're yeah.
yeah. That's a good example. That could sort of happen, maybe. Let's just check Google Maps just in case.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But not self-doubt or
Oh, totally.
doubt
Yeah,
of the future. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, the self-orientated, relating and this and that. That's yeah. This that's not.
Alexis, if I ask you a question,
Yeah.
the the nature of that dynamic even is the appearance that one knows and one doesn't know. And like that sweet man who, when Eric asked you, um, when Eric asked you his question about doubt, but literally and truly anything can happen for
Mm.
no one. Any reaction, any response, any arising, any appearance can literally possibly happen for no one, right?
Well, there's certain things that don't seem to happen outside of the so-called dream. Yeah. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
but like even when Eric asked you, he's asking an apparent being
Mm,
in in a moment of time
mm.
what your experience is. I mean, in a sense, right? Or and Eric, I don't mean to speak for you, but I'm curious about that. Like, because I'm curious about how the me just continues to kind of feel divided off, or I'm
Mm.
curious about the separation of the dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, so this doesn't have a personal experience. There, as you say, just is the total, immediate, free-flowing, spontaneous responding to whatever's appearing to happen without any distance or separation in that whatsoever. Hence immediacy. And yes, there's no time either. So in asking someone in a moment of time, there's no actual time to ask someone anything. There's no real past or future or even the present. There's just the total immediacy, total immediacy. Um, but it's sort of obvious, like it would seem like someone knows that someone can't know, or that someone knows that there isn't a self, when it's said so sort of passionately and adamantly, from human lips. It seems like that's coming from some kind of knowledge or recognition or reporting. But somehow or other, that just does seem to passionately appear out of a total absence of a position. And that can seem very sure, but it's so sort of abundantly fresh and alive without anyone on the receiving end or the giving end. Yeah, it's talking to nothing. And there are certain things that can be said because apparently the body remembers. Apparently the body remembers. Once upon a time where there was shame and things like that. And there does not seem to be any possibility of shame appearing, as an example, when there's just no one to be holding that. Whereas anger, this is quite seemingly what is, yeah. All of the accommodating, the me accommodating stories and thoughts and feelings and the ways it think it should be, it doesn't seem likely that this can ever appear when there's just no one for it to be appearing to objectively. Yeah.
And yet that is also occurring in wholeness, right? It doesn't.
Wholeness appearing as a sense of someone being separate from it and then feeling shame and whatever, yeah, because there is no real difference between wholeness and separation. Separation is wholeness appearing as separation, yeah.
Yes, but also the absence of doubt, the absence of also that's appearing in wholeness too. So so nothing is excluded from that. So in the appearance of Eric, even, I know this is gonna sound strange, but the appearance of Eric or Maureen or whatever is also having what is being described in the absence of doubt. Having isn't the right word either. I don't know how to say it, but like there's emphasis on us focusing on the mechanics of the me or the appearances of the me, when really over and over again this gets shared that that it's all, everything is happening in wholeness, not just the appearance of the me, but the freedom, the liberation, the absence of doubt. All of it is happening all the time, everywhere.
Yeah,
Did that
it's
make any sense? Yeah.
yes, it does. But it's not happening in wholeness. It is wholeness. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So there's no inside of wholeness where these things are happening. There's just wholeness. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And whatever's happening is wholeness or nothing or everything, whatever apparently non-dual synonym you would like to put on it. It's just that. It's just what is, yeah. It's that there is only what is, yeah.
Well, and really that could just be an overlay bullshit story on top of what the me is apparently imagining is
Oh
happening.
yeah,
Yeah.
that could just
Oh
become
no,
the
it's really okay, and it's really it's
yeah,
really pretty underneath, and
sure.
yeah.
That could become the new dialogue for me, yes.
Right.
Just to tell itself repeatedly that it's not a self. And if I keep telling myself that I'm not a self, then maybe I won't be a self anymore.
Yeah,
And
and
if that
maybe
happens, my life will be better. Yeah, it's wonderful.
oh God.
Hi, Alexis.
Hello.
Hi there.
Yeah.
Thank you. It was so beautiful. It's so beautiful to be in this space. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, it's a bit faint, but I can hear you.
Too. It is so beautiful to be in this space. Thank you. And as the Zoom started, the me, the the resistance has come up, and it's anything shared is going to be the me at the moment. That space seemingly and apparently feels very small, and knowing that that's what it is. But how it's as if the me has taken too much control of being the seeker, and I'm free. I'm free right now. It's already this right now, and I'm free to be childlike. I'm free to walk. I'm free. But as soon as the body walks, it's very dense, and it wants to be released. And so there's a lot of anger coming up, and that's the me. And the body starts to react a lot. And should one, I don't know how to release it. I don't know, should I just let the body yell and scream or go into forest? I kind of don't know. I'm realizing this is the me. Well, crying and getting, letting it out, does it energize it more?
There's no real feeding or starving me.
Okay. It's too many seeming years of being a seeker.
Well, that might be a story
Okay.
that me is
Okay.
holding
It
on
is a
to.
story.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Thank
mean,
you.
there is no real me. There just may be the sense of an energy that feels separate and located. Yeah. And
Yes.
what may be accompanying that is a story that that's bad or wrong and that it needs to go away so that things can be better. And this is
Yes.
this is another story. It's another seeking story. And it seems like, although
Okay.
this isn't an instruction, so don't take it literally, even to say don't take it literally would seem like an instruction, but it seems to live on the notion that it's a problem that needs to go away. Yeah. Which is again why it seems to be starved when it comes to a meeting. It doesn't really, but it seems to be starved when it comes to a meeting because it's not validated as a problem that needs to go away. Because it's not actually substantial. It's not actually real. And it definitely isn't a bad thing or a mistake.
Yes. It seems very real.
Yes, yeah. It's boundless energy pretending to be me energy or local or contracted energy.
Yeah.
It's just as much unconditional love as anything else.
And there's just enough. It's as if it's a story, but it's as if being in a body that's confined, and that's what's the reality. I can see the reality. I know the reality, and it's taking a lot of effort and love and loveness, and to not, I guess, say starve the me, and it's challenging to speak because it's the me speaking.
But it's not really the me speaking. It just might seem like that. It might
Okay.
seem like there is someone behind the words, which is, again, there's nothing wrong with that. But there's no one really speaking. There's no one really saying the words.
There's nothing to say from that place.
Yeah, nothing.
There's just nothing there.
No, no there either.
It's just peace. It's just no. There's no words anymore to use. Can't use any words.
No, it's indescribable.
It's just this, but there's no separation from it. It's just thank you. It's very loving. Thank you. As one, it's noticed that listening to Alexis, that energy is so soft that something just very, it just, it just goes away. It's just beautiful. So thank you. I know I'm speaking to myself, and it's beautiful. So thank you.
What's the difference between I am all there is, I'm everything, nothing simultaneously, I'm the source of unconditional love, and all there is what's apparently happening? Well, the answer's in the question. The difference is that there is no I am in the last one. There is only everything, nothing, unconditional love, all there is, without I am. The I am is a phantom claim that appears out of nothing and is nothing. It's nothing pretending to be something or someone. There is no I to be already. Can you speak about how there's no consciousness already? So consciousness seems to appear when there's a sense of a subject to be conscious of an object. When there's this seeming energy that feels fixed and local to a human body, to the human form, there develops the sense of awareness. So out of this sense comes the sense of being at a distance from thoughts, feelings, sensations, and perceptions, objects, matter. Everything that seems to be happening at a distance to me. This consciousness, to know that this is happening to me. And this is a wonderful magic trick that is actually nothing. So consciousness seems to appear when there's this illusory sense of distance, because knowing and awareness, which are really the same thing, the same non-thing, requires a distance between a subject and an object. And this isn't real. So consciousness can often be used as a synonym for God nowadays, or for the beloved, or something else. But really, consciousness, as far as the Oxford Dictionary is concerned, means knowing, and the knowing requires a knower and a known, and this is illusory. There's no real subject or object already. It's an illusion. So there's no real consciousness already.
Is there still a sense that there's an out there and in here? Like for me, there's an in here with my emotions, and then there's an out there with other things.
Yeah, exactly. This it's the space. This, you're describing the energy, the separation energy feeling in here. Yeah. So the spatial sense of here and there is this collapses. Yeah. There's no real space. There's no real space. There's no real here or there. There's no real distance between the screen and the face. And there's no other side. It's amazing. Like, it's just extraordinary. There's no space at all, because there's no position. The whole sense of the energy being the whole idea of calling it contracted energy is essentially elaborating on the sense of space, position, a center, a localized, simulated center.
How is that reconciled with like a map? You know, like going to the grocery store is like there's
Yeah.
clearly an apparent, I guess, apparently a movement through space.
Yeah, so there's perhaps the appearance of a thought that says grocery store, and there's the apparent movement of body, and there may be the apparent sight of grocery store, but that all doesn't require space. It would seem to the energy that's apparently trying to interpret that rationally and logically, but really there's just the immediate appearance of whatever is. So even as these eyes apparently look at this screen, there's no sense that there's a here where the eyes are, or behind the eyes where there maybe used to be, apparently used to be, because time falls away as well. There apparently maybe used to be the sense that I'm here behind the eyes and the screen is in front of me. The whole in front, behind, above, below, to this side and that side, all dimensions collapse into total raw immediacy.
Got it. So it's like there's no more abstracting. There's not like an internal modeling of sensory data.
Yeah, there's just, again, I say it a lot, but there's just immediate what appears to immediately happen. So thought and seeing and whatever. So what used to be a felt sense that there was a shop down the road is now just an idea. Now all sort of spatial senses have been reduced basically to just ideas and thoughts immediately. So yeah. and time too, the dimension of time totally collapses as well. So there used, like, maybe there seems to be the sense that there really was a 10 minutes ago where Alexis took a sweet ass time to answer that question on the comment box. But this never really happened. There's never really a 10 minutes ago or a 10 minutes from now, and there's not even a now for those two to apparently be in either, in between. So everything, all dimensions, space, time, consciousness, experience, and whatever else this illusory bubble tries to conjure up, there's none of it anymore, and there never was actually anyway. Will you chat about this being too simple? Yes, utterly simple. In a way, it's so simple that it can't even be chatted about anymore, you know? But simply put, it's just simply what is. Whatever is what is. That's all. And even the sense that there could be another this, or that this relates to, is also this, what is. So a this that's unconditionally this can appear to be a this that thinks about that in relation to this. Nothing pretending to be two. That is this as well. Was that simple enough? Huh? Yes. All questions are just this, yeah. Or there is only this, yeah. And whatever appears is this. Even an idea that there's a that isn't this is also this. Simple. Fresh, abundant, raw, unconditional aliveness.
Alexis, do you still do yoga or qigong?
You know, asana can happen. So, you know, sometimes the body likes to stretch. I mean, that's the conditioning that it went through, apparently. So, yeah, asana can happen. It's enjoyable. You know, sometimes it's just enjoyable to stretch and, you know, shake and tap and, you know, just seems to, the body seems to enjoy it from time to time. But not as a need, yeah, not as a need, not as a attempt either to go somewhere or to impress or improve or whatever. So as though there was a real before, it used to happen a lot more often. You know, interestingly as well, just for the fun of it, um, as I was apparently dying, I wanted to do it more, but at the same time, I didn't want to do it anymore. It's like that it was almost like the wanting to cling on to like the seeking energy, even though that was the seeking energy, and it was like just obviously dying. There's kind of like a losing, you know, it's a loss. It's a loss. Seems to be like an echo, like a want to be more flexible or strong or whatever. And but this wanting is falling away, and body is just like, you know, We're not playing this game anymore, and you're not sticking around. Wanting or wanting, yeah. It's kind of like a wanting, which is utterly ridiculous. Yeah. Which is funny because so much of the time it seemed like a bloody hindrance as well. So, have to be going through these rigorous practices and things to get somewhere else. It can be seemingly exhausting. And yet, when it all seems to be falling apart, there can be a subtle or gross holding on to it. But that's just a story for the fun of it. A ghost story, yeah. Yes, me is the greatest, most notable and notorious ghost story ever told by humankind. And his story would seem to provide evidence for that. So, in essence, there is only what's longed for, not wanted. It's not what's wanted by me, but it's all that's longed for. It is what is, simply what is, including the wanting for something else. Because if that's what's appearing to happen, and that's unconditional freedom appearing as a wanting for something else, that's what's longed for, because that's boundless freedom, because boundless freedom is all there is. So any resistance and craving, agitation, irritation, anything that seems to be deemed unpleasant to me or by me is also unconditional freedom, because there is only unconditional freedom. It's all there is. It's all encompassing. That's it. Much love.